What is going on, everybody? How are we doing? Thank God for slow news week, right? As a United fan, because I don't know about you, but my week has been busy, busy, busy. Lots of stuff to get done. You guys know I wrapped up that PFA class, and now I've started a couple weeks ago the player care class. So I've got a presentation I've been working on for that. That's fun, but it is what it is. Slow news weeks are good this week. It is time, though, to break up the monotony of the slow news week because it's time for you guys to look like the most knowledgeable person in your group chat right now. And no, I'm not selling a set of encyclopedias. Sidebar for the kids, encyclopedias are real life, very heavy, dusty versions of Google. No, no, no. This is where you get to learn a little bit about some of the hidden gems and the future stars in the game that you can, use to bring up now and then, and look like Nostradamus of football in a couple years when they become household names. That's really why we do what we do, right? That's right. You guys know what that means. It's scouting report time. You guys know that when you see the little clipboard in the upper right-hand corner, that it is scouting report special time. You know how these things go. I've got a couple of future ballers that deserve your attention. I'll be taking a closer look at each of them today. This isn't YouTube compilations. This isn't highlights. This is the nitty gritty. This is heat maps. This is percentiles. This is profile, background, all that kind of stuff. Anybody can watch a YouTube compilation, right? What's that going to do? Hey, I saw this guy put a header in once. That's nothing. This is where the rubber hits the road here. So let's see what you guys are doing in the chat. Jim in the house. Big up, Jim. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Let's dive right in with our first player. Now, this one comes to you from a recommendation from a member of the channel, longtime fan of the channel. That is your South American scout, Danny B. This player's not South American, doesn't play in South American, but he is one that Danny B has been recommended now for a little while. And like I said, they're on my list. I'm getting to a lot of players, but we're going to dive right in with the first player on the list today, coming again from Danny B. We're talking about Yan Diomande. Playing at RB Leipzig. You guys know how much RB Leipzig loves to send some players through the pipeline, but he can play on either wing. A really good young player, just 19, 5'11", but this kid has got pace for days. He's good on the ball, carrying the ball. He's a goal threat. He actually puts in the shift off the ball as well. He's got an excellent work rate. He's really composed on the ball. And you'll see I've also started helping out the players of FC26 and just giving you a little insight on their overalls and their potentials in the game just to help all you guys out. So he came to RB Leipzig after they activated his 20 million euro release clause at Spanish side Leganes, where he finished last season very, very brightly. He had a goal and an assist, and he was man of the match against Las Palmas to the end of last season. Now, he actually, interestingly enough, if you guys have done any sort of research, he actually started out playing his footy here in the States, high school down in Florida. And then he went on to play for UPSL side, AC Frenzy, I think it's called. That was back in 2023. I say back in 2023. It's not like it was that long ago. But yeah, he actually started playing here in high school and then played in a U.S. league. There's a ton of small leagues here in the U.S., but the guy is an absolute baller. Like I said, he's pacey, he's direct, he's got explosive acceleration, he can contribute on either flank, like I said. He can beat a defender, he can create chances, he can score goals. You can see when you look at the heat map, you can kind of see the way he's played depending on which side of the pitch he's deployed on. On that left-hand side, you can see he's going to want to cut inside onto his right, and he's going to get a lot of touches in and around the box. On that right-hand side, he's going to contribute a little more back and forth and maybe be used as an old school style winger, maybe even a wing back. And I like that. I like that versatility. I like that he's being used in different ways. That means he can kind of adapt to different systems. Let's say he came to United, he could play on the left and be that Ahmad on the left-hand side, kind of someone who's going to cut in, create chances. He can maybe pitch in on the right as well. I like that. But he is built for transitions. He's built for counterattacks. If you look at his sprint numbers in the Bundesliga, they're among the top. His intensity, his top speed of 36 kilometers an hour this season is amazing. And again, keep an eye on that career path in terms of development. It shows that he's well ahead of the curve if he's coming from the U.S. all the way into the Spain and then into the Bundesliga. That's insane. Again, he's just 19, but he's featured in 13 matches this season. He's got 7 goals, 3 assists in all compilations, 4 times team of the week, 2 times man of the match, including a perfect 10 match on SofaScore after an 18-minute hat trick against Frankfurt over the weekend. He is the 9th rated player in the Bundesliga right now. He's 7th right now for goals. He is 1st for successful dribbles per 90. Look at some more percentiles. You can see when it comes to moving that ball up the pitch, he is literally in the top 1% for taking on a defender and for beating the defender. He is an absolute boss. Shot creating actions, top 10%. The passing, everything literally in terms of ball progression and goal contribution is above, well above average. And then what I like a lot, like I said, work rate, pushes in off ball. You can see tackles, interceptions, blocks, and clearances for wingers is extremely high. I love that about him. Now, I've seen a 90 million euro price tag touted, and the usual suspects have all been linked, including United. Liverpool have been linked after reports that current head of global football for the Red Bull Group, Jurgen Klopp, apparently he raves about Diamande. I think that he would absolutely come in and be an excellent rotation option if we were to get him at United. For 90 million euro price tag, already doing this, he's not going to want to move and then be a rotation option, but he could be that Ahmad on the left-hand side that Amorim has been maybe looking for. So I really like him. Anyone wants to learn a little bit more, feel free to take a look. Again, this comes from Danny B recommendation. Remember, starting 11 and Legends members, you do get to make suggestions for scouting reports and whatnot. There is a post in the community tab on the page where you can go put your comments in. I will try my best to pay attention to them if you list them during a live stream sometime, but I'm going through the live stream. I'm not always reading every single thing. It's in your best interest if you want to get involved to put it in that post. That's an organized space where I can go find it. So let's moving on here. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Mad Hatter's in the house. Big up, Mad Hatter. Been a minute. Hope you're doing well. Jim says he's been scouted by a few Premier League teams. Yeah, he's been linked to a lot. Chelsea, Spurs, I think, obviously Liverpool as well. Everybody's looking at him. I mean, what young winger aren't Chelsea looking at, to be honest with you? They're going to buy a winger for 80 million. They're going to use him for a year. Then they're going to sell him to Arsenal probably because that's what Chelsea do. But yeah, Diamandi, the next, exciting young attacker to come out of the Leipzig pipeline. Keep an eye on him. We'll see what happens this summer. He's only been there a little bit. But moving on, we got another winger. This time we're going to Spain. Take a look at Yeremy Hernandez. Now, he plays for Deportivo La Coruña in the Segunda Division, so the Spanish second league. He is a left winger, 22 years old, 5'7", but again, another player with pace, chance creation, who's got a goal output, and he's excellent on the ball at carrying. You can see I threw down the FC26 numbers for you. He starts off with an overall of 76, and then you can put him to a potential of 84. Remember, the game has had dynamic potential now for a couple of years, so the more you use him, the more you play him, you could go over that potential. So just keep that in mind. But Yeremy Hernandez, this kid thrives on his pace, on his dribbling, on his agility, and his ability to beat defenders in 1v1s. And that low center of gravity also is what gives him the agility to do quick turns and quick directional changes. But also that low center of gravity provides a lot of balance to ride tackles. You see that in guys like Messi, for instance. Low center of gravity, better balance, better ability to ride those challenges and stay upright. But he can put in a cross. He can cut inside to shoot. He's got an eye for a pass. He's a winger that kind of does a little bit of everything. And his goal output's been incredible. 7 goals, 5 assists in all comps so far this season. 15 goals, 5 assists last season as well. Last I checked, Hernandez was 4th highest rater in the Segunda Division. 8th right now, I think, for top scorer, 3rd for assists, and he's 1st for successful dribbles per 90. If you haven't seen by now, you see there's a bit of a pattern with me in wingers. I like when they can carry the ball. So those successful dribbles is what I look for. You can see mainly he's going to operate on that left-hand side, but you can see he's very comfortable operating in that inside channel. Again, another possible Ahmad on the left situation. And you can see he takes those corners as well. But Hernandez is really, he's becoming one of the most exciting young attackers in Spanish football. He's turning heads. I think he'd be an excellent inverted winger for any side who plays fast-paced football, who looks to hit quickly on transitions. Teams like Aston Villa, Newcastle, for instance, would probably benefit from someone like him. This is some of his percentiles. They don't have the second division in FBref, I think. But this, you could see top 1% for goals, top 100, like literally the top percent for shot attempts, well above average for chance creation as well. He is just doing his thing out in the Segunda Division right now, and I'm here for it. Chelsea, Como, Napoli have all been linked to him. Chelsea reportedly offered about 15 million euros in the summer, which is actually less than his release clause. So it was rejected. Sporting submitted a 25 million euro bid, but nothing ever happened of it. And he just signed a contract extension that goes till 2028. So it's interesting enough. Matt Hatter says, where can we make suggestions for scouting reports? So starting 11 and Legends members. This is a perk of the starting 11 and Legends members on the channel. And I like to give back to the people who want to give to the channel in that regard. There's a special post over in the community, over in the post tab on the page, the channel's main page, that only starting 11 and Legends members can see. And so those members can go and make their thing. If you might have to scroll down a couple. I try to update it because YouTube won't let you pin a post to your page. So I've got to make a new one, but that's where you're going to see them. So put them in there. I'll get notified. You can do your best, Mad Hatter, to put them in the live chat when we're doing stuff. I just can't always guarantee that I'm going to remember. So I just want to make sure that you get taken care of. But that's where you go get it, Mad Hatter. But so yeah, if you're into scouting reports, if you have some players that you'd like me to keep an eye on, I can't guarantee they will be featured in the next video. I'm like 2 videos out. This one was planned out a little while ago. I just had to update the stats. I've got another one all ready to go. So it might take a couple cycles for me to get there because you guys know I'm a bit of a scouting nerd. But there's Jeremiah Hernandez. Let's go look to another side of the pitch, you guys. Make sure you are liking, please. Make sure you're subscribing if you are digging the scouting reports. You guys know that it's really what I love to do. So like to share that with you guys. So moving on. Now, this is going to sound a little bit like favoritism. It's not. But this guy is actually a baller right now. And I'm talking about Alex Freeman. He plays in the MLS with Orlando City. They've only been around, I think, maybe 10 years now, if I want to say. But he is a right back. 21 years old, 6'2", so a good size, but he creates chances. He's physical. He's got a goal output. He's got energy for days. You could see he's overall, none of the MLS players, unless you're like Thomas Muller or something, are going to be highly rated. But he starts off at a 6'9". You can get him up to an 81 potential. Again, higher with the dynamic potential. But honestly, get this guy in January when the MLS is in their offseason. MLS is in the offseason right now. You can come get this guy like immediately. But you can see he's a physical monster. He's good on the ball. He came up through Orlando's academy, and he was a standout for their B team in MLS Pro. We have a lot of leagues in the U.S., like I said. But in that MLS Pro season, he had 8 goals and 9 assists in his final season in that B side. He burst onto the season this year with a goal in his full debut for Orlando's first team. 6 goals, 6 assists this season for a right back. It's pretty legit. And this was his first real season as a regular starter as well. He was man of the match against DC United as well. And he had a man of the match performance for the U.S. recently against Uruguay, where he scored a brace too. So he's doing excellent job. Again, he really just having a barnstorm of a debut season. He was selected to be part of the MLS All-Star side that played the Liga MX All-Stars this season. He was MLS Young Player of the Year. And he was the first player from Orlando to be featured in MLS Best 11 as well. The kid is just burst onto the scene. He's definitely worth a look, man. He's quick, he's tall, he's powerful, and he uses these traits on and off the ball as well. He gets into advanced areas to create chances or score goals, but he also knows how to track back and make recovery runs. You can see he pretty much owns the entire right flank. So he can win those duels, make those recovery runs. He's got the most aerial duels won at Orlando right now. He's having an absolute beast mode season, man. But he's a full-on attack-minded fullback, though. He can drive that ball into the box, make those late runs also to follow up the play as well. He sometimes is good at popping up in the box with a goal. And he's just comfortable on the ball. He's good with the ball at his feet, too. I really liked him as well. These are some of his numbers. You can see he wins those aerials, which I know we all like. But look at these goals, these assists, these shot-creating actions, this ball progression. The kid is an absolute beast, dude. I think he'd make an excellent wingback, personally. I think for that right-hand side, similar to like Jeremy Frimpong or something. Someone who can track back, but you might want them to stay a little higher up the pitch. Villarreal were very strongly linked this summer. Orlando managed to keep hold of him, and so well done. They did exercise a contract option too, so he's actually got a contract now up until 2026. His contract was originally set to be done this offseason, but they extended it for another year. Honestly, and if it were me, buy him, loan him back, and then bring him back. I think this is also like a free hit for Ineos in terms of marketability because that like what Heung-min Son did for the marketability in Spurs, this could be a free hit for American market in terms of United. Now we've got a lot of American fans here, and I know it sounds awful for me to think about it. I'm just trying to convince Ineos. Ineos, if you're watching, tell me this guy could be an excellent shout to boost that U.S. fan appeal as well, make him a household name. But I really like Alex Freeman. I think he's had a really, really good debut season for Orlando, and he's doing excellent. I think he'd be an excellent addition for our squad. I think that I would like to move Dallo on at some point and get a just full-on actual natural right back for those times where we need to kind of solidify a little bit. Obviously, Mazraoui can play there. It looks like Mazraoui's probably going to be used more as a center back, but I really like Freeman. You guys let me know if you watch any Orlando, if I'm off it or if I'm totally on. Let's move on to another player. So you guys know I'm always on the lookout for Croatian players. The best ones always seem to fly under the radar. But this is Adriano Jagušić. Plays for Slaven Belupo. Not the first player from Slaven that we've scouted here on the channel, but he is kind of one of those players who can play almost anywhere behind the striker. He can play on the wing. He can play as a 10 as well. So maybe that means he would be an excellent player for that right-hand side, maybe as an understudy to Mbeumo, or maybe he can go on the left-hand side and be that Amada on the left-hand side. But just 20 years old, 5'9". He's not in FC26 because Slaven's not in FC26, so you don't get an overall or potential. But he's good at chance creation. He's got a goal on him. He's got good vision, good reading of the game, an eye for a pass. He's technical on the ball. I do love technical players. And again, like I said, he's versatile as well. He is Slaven's creator-in-chief when it comes to being that number 10 for them. And he's pretty good at it. Last time I looked, he had 8 goals, 4 assists this season. Already better than the 6 goals, 3 assists he had last season. And what this tells you is a young player, again, he's just 20, who is developing very, very nicely, like rapidly so. 3 times man of the match this past season as well. He had a brace against Vukovar recently as well, so he's good at, again, goal threat, like I said. But as Slaven's 10, he operates in that tight space in between the lines, right? Those half spaces and channels. And he's very comfortable there. He can create chances. He can do link-up play. He's comfortable under pressure. And he can sort of drift around, almost like Thomas Muller, the way Thomas Muller used to play a little bit. And really what that does is it creates havoc. It's a space that defenders don't like to defend, and it's in between the lines, in the channels. It's just that weird kind of no man's land that defenders hate because it's like, okay, well, I either have to let him have free run or I've got to get out of my position to go mark him, and they hate that. But he's got good vision, technical, like I said, goal threat. He can also play as an 8 if you need him to. He can also play on the right wing if you need him to as well. Versatile. I mean, Ineos, come get it done. But you can see, comfortable in those channels, very, very comfortable. He's still young. He's still developing physically as well. And I think I'd like to see his off-the-ball contributions kind of boost a little bit. There's just some of his numbers. Again, he's not in FB Ref, but he is on Fotmob. And so I've got a couple of the percentiles from Fotmob. So you can see the assists, shots, the pass accuracy, the long balls, successful crosses. Very, very good chance creator. And then if you whirl down a little bit to dribbles, again, well above average for those dribbles. Tackles, Dan duels compared to other number 10s. He's got really good off-the-ball ability. He makes a lot of interceptions. And he wins the possession a lot in the final third. As you can see way down at the bottom, well above average for that. I like that. You need, if you want to make the step up from a league like the Croatian League or the Belgian League or something, you've really got to develop your off-the-ball ability. You have to, I'm not saying you have to be a perfect 10 out of 10 in every single stat, but you've got to at least boost a little bit of that physicality and that off-the-ball work rate, because that's really going to not only make you a more well-rounded player, it's going to put you ahead of the curve in a lot of ways and compared to other people, other players that clubs are looking at. That could be the difference maker between a club willing to spend a little bit more on you and take the risk versus another player, for instance. And so it's just something he needs to work on. Obviously, he's good at it, just something you need to work on a little bit, keep mindful of. I sort of see this kid as a combination of like an Isco and a Philip Coutinho, kind of like that kind of mobile player like a Coutinho who's good cutting in and shooting, but also that player who's good in those tight areas like Isco used to be. Now, he is contracted with Slaven until 2027. I've seen reports that he could be joining Dynamo Zagreb, where he did play his youth football. So it's you never know. Some players like home. You see this a lot in the Norwegian league. A lot of players will leave Bodo Glimt and then go back to Bodo Glimt. Nothing wrong with that. Bodo Glimt does a really good job of making that a family-like feeling kind of atmosphere. They really make it just a tight-knit group, and that, I think, does set them apart sometimes in competitions. His agent, Jagusic Agents, also has recently said that Lokomotiv also offered 7 million euros for a January transfer. So he could be on the way out in January. You never know, but I really like this kid. You guys know I'm always on the lookout for Croatian players. I think they fly under the radar, and I think a lot of them end up being very, very good. But if you watch any Croatian football, let me know what you think. Moving on, I got two more players for you. Let's talk about Marlon Gomez. Now, I know. Some of you might be wary of Brazilian midfielders from Shakhtar, but I mean, I'm not going to diss Fred. Not everybody liked Fred. It is what it is. But I think Marlon Gomez is built a little different. He is that midfielder. He can play almost anywhere in midfield. 21 years old. He's physical. So he's 6 foot. He's already a little taller than Fred. He's got more press resistance than Fred. He's more physical than Fred. He's got mentality for days. Good passing range, good vision. You can see he is an FC 26. He's got an overall of 71, but you can get him up to 83. That's a 12-point jump or higher, depending on how you use him and how frequently you use him. But he's another all-around midfielder who I think suits the modern game. He's good on and off the ball. He's good physical, like I said. He's good press resistance, good mentality. He's got a solid mix of passings in his arsenal, too. He can keep possession cycling kind of around, kind of be a player that you always have as an option if you're under pressure. He can dictate the tempo, but he's also got a good eye for those vertical passes in transition, those line-breaking passes, which I really do like. It's good for teams who like to build from through their midfield, these deep-lying playmakers. He is in the top 3% for defensive competitions, like I said, contributions. So again, he's really good off the ball as well. 1 goal, 4 assists in all competitions so far. He was a man of the match recently with a goal against Poltava. 4 goals, 2 assists last season in all comps, with goal involvements in European competition as well. And so really good midfielder. He moved to Shakhtar because he liked the project. He wanted the opportunity to develop. You know, a lot of players do look more at their development pathway and not just big clubs. And I respect that. I think that shows that they're really focused on developing individually. So he's got an eye for being a part of something. And I think that could appeal. United's rebuild right now, we're still early in the rebuild. That could appeal to someone like Marlon Gomez. He's turning heads, though. We've been linked to him. So United have been linked. West Ham have been linked. Leeds have been linked. Everton reportedly interested. They will be losing James Garner potentially in the summer. I wouldn't have a problem with putting in a cheeky bid for James Garner in January, bring him home, but it is what it is. RB Leipzig reportedly had a 25 million bid rejected. Shakhtar are reportedly holding out for something in like the 30-35 million range. So we will see how it's going. What we got here? Danny's in the house. Big up, Danny. Says, sorry, late. It's at the chiropractor. Well, that's good. I'm glad that you're getting that back looked at, bro. I told you today, man, you need to go check out the chiropractor. Just depends, dude. Chiropractor these days can mean a variety of different things. So when I think chiropractor, I think, all right, you're going to lay on a table. They're going to push on you a little bit, maybe twist you a little bit. I've seen some crazy shit. I went to one chiropractor who just had me put like these vials of different things in my hands, like a vial with a cigarette in it, a vial with milk in it. And he had me hold it in my hand and push my arm down. And if I was weak, that meant I was like allergic or something. I don't know. It was ridiculous. He called himself a chiropractor. I don't know. It is what it is. I don't judge. I just wanted someone to look at my back, and I ended up holding some crystals for like 20 minutes. So it is what it is. But yeah, Danny, Shakhtar do love those. Who else has come? So Willian came from Shakhtar. Bernard, who was at Everton for a hot second, I think, came from Shakhtar as well. Obviously, Fred came from Shakhtar. I know that there's more. I just can't remember off the top of my head, to be honest with you. But yeah, they do like him. So, but it is what it is. So Marlon Gomez, I do like him a lot. We got one more player for you. I'm going to move on. Danny, we did a recommendation that a player that you recommend earlier. He kicked off the show, so you're going to have to go back and watch it back. So moving on. Last player, Mateo Del Blanco. Now he's Argentinian. He plays for Union de Santa Fe, left back / left wing back. Again, another option for left wing back if anyone's interested. 22 years old, 5'7". Good chance creator. He's got a good shot on him. He's got an excellent passing range, good crossing as well. And I really like his work rate. You guys know when you're a fullback, it's probably one of the most physically demanding positions, especially back a couple decades ago for real, like when Gary Neville was playing. But it is constant up and down the pitch. You don't get to stop. You can go on these lung busting runs and nothing may come of the attack. And then the other team's got to counter. And then you've got to get your head down, bust a gut, and track back like immediately. It's demanding. But Mateo Del Blanco is very good. And you can see FC 26 overall 72, a potential of 83. So a really good young prospect for anyone looking to get a cheap pickup. But he is an attacking left back. Again, makes sense since Del Blanco was actually a winger starting out in youth football. So again, just knows how to play that position. He contributes a large amount of crosses, a large amount of key passes, and a lot of big chances from the left flank. Overlapping with his winger, showing an excellent work rate. 1 goal, 5 assists in all comps, already better than his output last season. Been in the team of the week once already. Man of the match against Racing Club in August, where he provided a pair of assists as well, and he created the most chances. You see where I'm going with this. He's got the most assists in the league. He's 4th for big chances created and 7th for key passes per 90. He's an absolute boss. You can see he just absolutely destroys the left flank. He puts both corners in for them as well. So he's very, very good. And you can see he's comfortable kind of drifting in centrally on those underlaps or tracking back to kind of be a part of midfield to hold up and take over that space. And that's a big key role that a lot of people miss out when it comes to fullback. Sometimes those midfielders get up. The fullbacks actually got to drop in centrally and take up that midfield spot as well. But he's doing very, very good this year. Obviously, the ball progression is on point, and the shot creation, obviously, top 2%. I love to work on his off the ball, his tackles. Obviously, interceptions are good, though, as well. But what I really, really like is his work ethic, his resilience. He wasn't getting a ton of minutes early in his career due to inherent bias about short players. It's a thing. Like scouts are commonly overlooking shorter players because the tall ones stand out, and there's a bit of bias there. But he actually considered retiring from football altogether, but he motivated himself to put in some extra gym time to work on his physicality, get stronger, and it paid off. I mean, in dividends. He's doing absolutely stupendously right now. He recently signed a new contract to 2028, but that hasn't stopped big clubs from looking at him. River Plate are reportedly interested in him as well. So really good young player. Danny wrote him down. Yeah, see, I told you guys, Danny's a South American scout, man. And you want to know about a player playing in South America, talk to Danny B. Might have to have Danny join in on some of these scouting reports to talk about some South American players at some point. But yeah, I remember they signed Kevin too. Yeah, that's a funny thing about the Brazilian players too. They've always got like these random names, man. I love it. So they've always got these names that sound like some Disney character's pet or something. Like, come on, Fred. Come on, Kevin. What are you doing? Kyle, let's go. But yeah, Mateo Del Blanco, very good young fullback. I really like the look of him. Physical again. A lot of fullbacks today. I don't have a problem with that though. But that's today's scouting report special, you guys. Again, starting 11 Legends members, feel free to make those recommendations. There's a post over in the community tab if you scroll down a little bit again, but only starting 11 and Legends members can see the post as well. Starting 11 Legends members also have access to join the WhatsApp group as well, which is always popping with all sorts of rumors and tweets and jokes and mostly Liverpool bashing. But hey, that's what we're here for as United fans. But keep in mind that those are extra perks that members of the channels get to enjoy. I'd love to show my appreciation in any way I can. I wish I could do more. There's only so much I can do, but again, appreciate everybody stopping by. Make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing. If you like what you see, consider looking at the memberships as well. If we get to 3K before Dylan and I head over to Manchester in a couple weeks, I will do a giveaway, and the winner will get their pick of whatever they want from the Mega Store while we're there, because I'm that nice guy. But I got a lot of work to do. I'm working on some what-if episodes. I'm working on presentations and working on more episodes from you. Again, thankfully, it's been a slow news week if you don't count the bullshit Sergio Ramos and all this stuff. Slow news week, so it is what it is. But until next time, you guys, Flack says, so we've written off Dorgu and Leon. Have we? This is just a scouting report special. It sounds like it's your first time. I like to scout players. These aren't necessarily players, and I'm like, yeah, go sign in United. These are just players for anybody to look at in football. These young, hidden stars, up-and-coming ballers. it is what it is. I like a scouting report special. There's not me necessarily. You guys know I don't write off Dorgu. I don't write off Leon as either. I don't think Leon is ready. Dorgu's still young. I've said this many times, but yeah, these are just generic players that I've been keeping an eye on that I think people should keep an eye on as well. So I appreciate you stopping in, Fleck. But yeah, that's how we do things in the scouting reports. So keep that in mind. We'll be back later on this week, obviously, for a preview of the Bournemouth match. And then it's going to be nitty gritty. We got another kickabout going next week. Dylan and I are going to talk about AFCON prep. And then Dylan and I are going to be leaving. We're going to be taking off Christmas, going to Manchester, flying out. We'll obviously be checking in with you guys while we're there. We'll do some live shows after those matches and whatnot and send you some clips and some photos here and there. And then we'll hit it hard when we get back. And we'll talk about the trip and everything like that because it's Dylan's first time over there. So, hey, glad to be a part of that. But take it easy, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay warm, stay safe, and thank you for stopping by. I will talk to you guys on the next one. Later.